I think I forgot again to do the lights. I meant to get some lighting for down here as well crafted, but forgot. So I'm gonna write that down. Maybe I won't forget. I think it's the exile hanging lights or something, hanging lamp. And I think I need, let's see, 1, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 of those. Anyway, back to still haven't come across any more of the exile chairs. I have a feeling I'm gonna end up just doing a bunch of ship hand seating because those I can craft myself and I don't have to worry about waiting on a cheap deal on the AH. Because while there may be some there for what many might consider reasonable, I'm pretty stingy with my money. So if I can get away with paying just a few copper for it, then I will. I'm sure that sounds bad, but I don't know, that's how I am. One of the reasons why I took up architecture so that I could craft a lot of the stuff that I would probably want to use on a regular basis. I'm going to straighten up these signs here, I think. I don't like this one being too close. Essentially, I want it to be, I don't want to extend it past here either, so that I'm pretending there's like an invisible barrier here. So looking at this middle one here, about where it is in the midst, and I think it needs to go this way a bit. And that would mean this one needs to come out about here. Okay. So if this is the edge here, and I got a pretty sizable gap, that means this one needs to come over below itself as well. And I'm also looking at the gap between the two. They're similar. Again, I'm sure there's a way to probably mathematically calculate the distance between them to make them even, or just use an item as a ruler type of thing. But eyeballing it for me is okay. If it appears a little odd later, then I'll change it, but for now it looks alright. Okay, so I assume this would be like the little display or of the food that's available, similar to what's going on upstairs with the curved glass as like the sneeze guard, where like, you know, I want to have this or that. But I don't want to use the curved glass again, so I'm gonna just use the regular squares. And make it probably just more like a slanted with the top. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm picturing in my head. Small as that will go, and I really don't want to change it beyond, you know, what allows. I'm just gonna kind of finagle it here. And the main thing I have to watch is sticking out the front. Which it is a little. Pop it up a bit. Maybe bring it in. That's the only thing when you're using an odd shaped item for a countertop or whatever. You have to kind of watch how things are fitting into it. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this down so that it's kind of even. with the edge here. Maybe I'll just line it up with the edge of the nubbin here. And then we'll see how big that is. Glass. I think that was the only one. Whoops. The only one I had in my inventory. Try a couple. I'm really bad about clicking off of things that I don't mean to click off of. This might be like super wide and not work like I'm picturing in my head. You know, happens quite often. Maybe I just make it a box instead of anchor. Probably have to do it like that, just to keep it the width of the countertop, because I really don't want to extend those too much. So yeah, that's probably what I'll have to do, just because of the size. Now, like I said, I could make it smaller, but then I fall into that same issue where things disappear a little more quickly because they're sized funny. So we'll just, the main thing I have to look at is what's sticking out here. And then, you know, work the rest of it around. The main thing I can see is probably I won't be able to put in a square here without it popping into the area here. So let me do that first. I think I can get by with moving this way so that the glass is hidden inside the little nubbins here. So let's try that. Yeah, see what I mean by that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link these all together. And hopefully when I move it, object. Yeah, so it's still a little, I'll just bump it up a little bit. But it's not showing in the back. And I'll just have to make sure that the end of it is also in one of these little nubbin areas. So basically it'll be like, you know, you have some of your foods down here, maybe some little like bits up top as well that people can just grab on the house or something. I don't know. Maybe down here will be like some of the ice cream tubs that people would scoop their stuff out, and then elsewhere it'd be something else. But I think that's how I'm going to do this up front here. Probably just extend it to maybe this part here. So this would be like a little boxed area. That means back here probably. implement this for now. So I'm probably going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 5, 8, 9, 9 more of the glass pieces. I got 1, so I need 8 more from the vendor. And we'll just pop a few pieces out here. Nothing fancy. Like I said, I could have used the curved ones like I did upstairs, but I just want to do something different. Don't want to use the same formula every time. Just to, you know, kind of set it apart. While they're both food areas, it, you know, just gives it its own personality, which is always fun to try different things. Okay, 1 more for the top, I think. Then we can work on the side front area. May end up being 1 short, I don't know. Sometimes my guesstimates on how much I need or don't need are way off. Or I just change my mind on what I want to put down. I can mix it up a bit. Now, while I've got this one about where it needs to be, it may start showing up in other places, so just kind of want to keep an eye on that. You may have to adjust the whole shebang. You find a spot that isn't quite hidden like you want it. Seems we're doing okay. And again, I'm not like punching in exact numbers, I'm just checking, eyeballing the gaps. You know, I may find out that I pushed it in a little too far. Hey, Pawn, nice to see you again. But as I come to the end, I'll sort that out as I discover I've pushed it in too far in certain places and not far enough in others. That's the beauty of, you know, well, it looks like I went up like 2 short. So I need 1 for the finish the front wall and then 1 for the side here. So, how you doing this morning, Fawn? I assume it's morning for you. You could be elsewhere. Just put these in. It's one of the most, I guess, boring things of housing is a lot of the copy paste. But it's fun that, you know, you start off with one little thing and then you put it all together and then it starts to take shape. That's part of the niftiness of it. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can Copy this one here. Oh, I thought you just said aloha. Like there's a lot of people that don't even live in that region and they use that word. So wow, Hawaii. I guess you're up. Well, no, 9:30 p.m. I thought it was later there, but that's not too late. I've never been to Hawaii. Um, some of my family has. They went, oh, many, 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 many years ago. But I wasn't around when they did that, so I missed out. Okay, so something like that. I don't know. It's just an idea. I may end up changing it again uh, for whatever reason, but I think it'll work okay. So just to kind of get a little fancy, we're gonna try some. We're just gonna try out some food ideas, putting things together to make them look like dishes, some sort, some kind. Well, I appreciate it. I know there's a few others that do housing streams, um, but the one I caught, I guess it was last week. Um, it appeared to be German, so that didn't help me very much because I could understand a lick of what they were saying. But and two, they a lot of them don't talk very much, so uh, maybe I talk too much, but I figure it's better than just listening to nothing because I'm pretty sure my sound's down quite a bit. I don't know if the music comes through on the stream or not, but it's just the game music. I don't have any like regular music on, which some of them do. Um, but I don't want to get into all the copyright issues and stuff, so I just leave the game music in. Um, and I think I want to say it was Mr. Shackleberry also has a housing bit, but I think he doesn't focus completely on that. He just does it sometimes. Because I'm pretty sure I've been to his or I've seen videos of his house before. Um, but I think currently I'm the only one that's primarily focusing on that. And some people might find it interesting, and others might. A lot of people just prefer to watch the raids and stuff. I know there's a lot of Datascape raids going on, and a few for GA, but not too many. I think most of the high end or the more progressive oriented raid guilds are already in Datascape. So, do I have any more plates? Apparently not. Got one more, and then I want a pillar. Oops, keep closing those things. No, I'll just do the Cassie. I like the cat. Oh, is he a PvPer? Well, I know I've seen either. Uh, Maybe I just got the name confused, but I know I've seen at least two others that were streaming housing at some point. But like I said, I'm pretty sure they don't do it like uh, as frequently as I do because I pretty much. One thing is, uh, I'm kind of like embarrassed slash ashamed of my PVE setup and how I fight. I mean, it sounds like I'm just rolling my face across the keyboard when I'm fighting because I'm just like I don't look at cooldowns or anything. I just like spam my keys and hope something is off cooldown and it hits. So I don't really want to shame the game by showing how I fight stuff. I've done it a little bit in the past, but I've quickly deleted those videos because I don't want people to focus on that. Uh, Not that this is super great, but um, I don't want to turn anybody off of the game because they look at me and they go, "Wow, that's just awful," and really I'm the last person to focus on for PvE gameplay or PvP or anything like that, because I like panic in PvP, so that's like really not the thing you want to focus on for me. So, I mean, I've done it a little bit with the guild, um, but I think it was more I was just fodder for the other team because I like would distract them. They would be over here killing me while my teammates captured the flags and stuff. That was my job. I was like distraction. Well, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. And sure, ask a question. I don't know if I can answer it, but I'll certainly try. Uh, well, I appreciate the compliment. I do try to be as informative as I can. You know, I see a lot of housing tours, and it's usually just set to music, and they just walk the house, and they never mention about what items it is that they used. And I'm happy to share. You know, while some builders like to keep it secret what they're doing or how they put it together or how they made it, so that nobody else can do it, I'm more than happy to share my little tricks of the trade. Because you know, hopefully it inspires other people to join in, which is, you know, the whole point. You want more people in it and having fun with it. You know, housing may not be for everybody, but it's certainly for a lot of people, and I just hope to get them excited about it. Massive umbrella tree. The only place I have encountered that is on the auction house. I don't know where that drops, um, but I've used a couple here on the plot actually. Let me show you, because it's a one of those kind of glitchy items. There are a few items like the treasure piles or the dragon hoard pile and stuff that it looks like a pile of gold when you have it sitting like it's supposed to, but if you flip it over, it turns invisible. I could probably show you that here. Uh, yeah, see this treasure pile, I can put it out right. And it looks normal sitting like it's supposed to, but if you flip it, um, I can see the arrow here. It goes invisible. It's just a glitchiness kind of thing. So like if you just wanted a pile of the vases and stuff, and you didn't mind some of them having bits missing, then you might find a way to use that in some creative way. Uh, but yeah, there's been a lot of people. I had one housing, uh, another housing fan on Jabbit. He's used the trees uh, to make like a giant mountain, and it had the same circle. I was like, how did you get the grass up there? Because it looks just like, and what it is the tree, when you turn it upside down, it essentially mirrors whatever ground you have as your main ground. So this tree is actually upside down. It's like huge, and I've just tucked it in um, and let it mirror the grass underneath. And that's how I got this to look flat. So wherever I move it, if you look, I can. It just changes whatever I happen to have it. It just mirrors the exact flooring, the ground type, whatever. If there's a dirt patch there, then the dirt patch shows up on the tree itself. It just, I don't know why it works that way. I'm sure it's probably not supposed to. It's one of those glitchy type items that someone discovered that it did that when they were flipping it around and started using it in cool and interesting ways. And like I said, the one he used it, he set it up real high and made it like a little plateau for his house up above, like on a little mountain. and it was really nice. But it was like confusing because it's like, how did you get the ground up there? Yeah, they are. Like I said, some tend to not share their secrets because, obviously a lot of them want to feel a little special because, they figured out how to do it and they don't want to tell anybody else. But because I've come across homes where I'll see an item and I just can't figure out what item it is that they used, and I'll even like mail them in game and say, hey, I'm a housing fan and I'd really like to know what item you used here or whatever. And I don't think I've ever gotten a reply. It could be that maybe they just uh, never saw it. Maybe they left the game and never got to them. But I think the majority is they just don't want to mention it, don't want to share their secrets. And for me, I guess I can understand that thinking some bit, but I prefer to be a little more generous if I figure out how to put something together in a way like using the orange dressers as shelves and set in something else to make it look like drawers. Um, if that helps somebody else put something together, while I wouldn't necessarily encourage people to copy someone else exactly item for item for item, using their combination of items as an inspiration for your own combination of items. Maybe, uh, adding just a little something different that makes it your own, then I say more power to you. And I'm very willing to share whatever I've done. If someone wants to know, well, what's that and what's this, I'm happy to tell. Because I don't see the point, from my perspective, of keeping it to myself. Um, Yeah, well, it's like yesterday I was talking on stream about how I'm in the search for more exile chairs, and currently I've only been able to get them on the AH. So someone made a comment, said, someone could make a lot of money off of me, but I had to burst their bubble because I'm not one to spend money. So uh, even if there are some exile chairs on the AH currently, if I don't want to spend that amount that they're asking, I won't. Maybe I want it really bad for my house, but if worst comes to worst, I'll just not spend it and I'll find an alternative. That's kind of why I've used the ship hand seating. I know that if it comes to the point that I just can't get a hold of any more chairs cheaply, I'll just use these because these I can make myself. So it's no biggie. But yeah, I think a lot of people probably, there are a lot of items, especially the ones that just aren't readily available, that they might not normally consider using. But seeing how other people use them will probably encourage that. And it could, cost them a pretty penny because I think the massive umbrella trees at the moment, I think the last I checked, they were at least like a plat or more. So that's pretty pricey for a beginner builder, especially if they don't have a lot of money saved up. Um, but for those type of items, you'd have to think about, well, think of it as like an investment. If you're willing to pay the plat to get that one item, then um, make sure it's something that you figure you're going to use pretty regularly. Um, I've had those massive umbrella trees for a few months now, and this is actually the first time I've used them in a build. Um, so maybe the investment really didn't pay off so far because I've only used them once, but I'll probably try and figure out other ways to incorporate them in. But yeah, it's just a weird way that particular item works. Not everything does. I know a friend of mine, he was using the uh, what is it, the rocks, the obsidian, yeah, the obsidian rocks. I was trying to think of onyx, but I knew that wasn't right. Um, he was able to enlarge them pretty big and then sink them down pretty deep in the ground. But apparently that's changed. At least for him, he's not able to sink them as low. And he went into a big fit about how he couldn't glitch them anymore, and that it just completely ruined his plot. He was about ready to scrap the whole thing, even though he's done a fantastic job with it up to that point. And thankfully, he didn't hit the button right away, and gave him some time to think about it. And he's just learned to work around it. But that's something to consider. 'Cause, like right now, the massive umbrella trees, they had that little glitch where they mirror whatever surface is down below. That might not always be the case. So keep that in mind when you buy something specifically to use it because it's glitched in some way. You know, as Carbine moves along, there's the chance that they will fix those little bits. Um, so, that's something to just consider when you put your money down for something like that. I would hate for people to buy it strictly for the glitch and then find out they fixed it, and then, they'd be disappointed that it doesn't work like that anymore. Oops. Just kind of making a little tiered um, tray kind of thing. What I might put on, I have no idea, but it'd be a nice little display thing for maybe some cookie kind of things, or some more of those little rolls or whatever. The only thing I have to worry about is the plate itself is curved. So anything I put in here that maybe requires to be hidden will show through the bottom if I'm not careful. So again, that's something to consider. Um, Definitely going to have to get myself some of those pig platters because those would make nice little display things. What could I use? Let's see, what do I got here? Books, baubles, and gestures, and hard to find anything that actually just comes straight up like a food item, except the few food items that we actually have, which are pretty limited. It'd be nice if we had the sandwich decor. I've seen it on I think it's the um, customization uh, fab kit. I'm gonna put these down. I forgot to put them out the other day. Part of my maintenance stuff down here. Gonna drop them in real quick. What kind of theme is your house? I mean, have you given that any thought yet? I don't know what to use. Maybe I'll just go with some cheese. Cheese platter. Seems the easiest for now. I've had that discarded bra for like ages. I've never used it once. I'm gonna have to figure out something nifty to, some reason to have it. But it's one of those things you get a hold of and you're like, oh, that's cool. It's different. Never use it. Yeah, I don't think that comes in very small, but I'm gonna, and that's so big. I think it stays pretty large. Got a lot of weird stuff that just don't fit this particular theme, and I don't know, maybe that container, some weird container of foodstuffs. I know there's one that's got like meat in it. I don't really want meat, raw meat anyway. I'd rather have it like cooked, so it didn't look like I was serving raw stuff, and that's just nasty. I have it, but it's still nasty. Gross. Maybe those, some kind of weird donut thingies. Some golden skulls for your meal. And the fish, I've used the fish as this mailbox as a fish before. Um, but it's annoying because you can't disable the functionality of the mailbox, so it ends up having that big old icon hanging above it, and that's kind of awkward sometimes. Guess we'll use some fruit somewhere. Or lizard. Guess we'll use that one too. I've got several of these. I use these as in my previous plot. I put several of them together and made it look like a long strand of garlic bulbs. Or that's what it was supposed to be. I don't know if people got that it was garlic. I could probably get away with using some of the plants as food, but I don't know. I don't want it looking like a little garden up top. If the preserver didn't have all this other junk, that'd make a good donut. And that's just disgusting too. You think as many times as I've gone through my crate, I'd know what all I have in here, but there's just so much junk, it's hard to keep track. If I had some kind of plank that looked yellow, I might use that as fries. That would be funny. There's just not a lot. Oh, we could probably get away with using some of the pumpkins if I can get it down smaller. Those things are so big though. And I really want to avoid having to go below the 0.20 size for the smallest, because I think that it really just kind of wigs things out. Maybe some weird jelly cookies. don't think any of the plushies can be used for food except maybe the sunfish, but I only have one of those. And that's just revolting. Let me lay this steak out. No, I'll probably use it for something. Did you hear my question, Pawn? Asking what theme your house was, or do you have a theme yet? You know, some people just don't give it a theme, and it's not necessary, I guess. Sometimes it helps focus you a little bit on what kind of items you need. If you know, if you're going for an orange theme, then you know you're going to have a lot of plants and trees and things like that. And if you're going for like a granite theme, maybe more rocks and wood. But I know a lot of people, they don't really give that much thought. They just put things together and it kind of works for them. But at least for me, I find it a little more comforting to kind of have an idea where I'm going with something. You know, I may wing the elements within it, but I don't wing the whole thing because I contemplated for months what kind of theme I was going to go with this time. And I think if I hadn't bothered with that, I might not have taken on this project that I have because, hey, there they are. This is your thing. We'll set that out too. I knew I had something in there. I don't know why it didn't show up in the food list. Or maybe it did and I just didn't know. That's always a possibility. Got plenty of bread. Don't want to put that out. It's kind of gross too. Coming down to the last bit. So we got a few things I could work with, I guess. Let's see how small we can make this barn window here. Not small at all. I really hate to do that, but I'm gonna try. I can grab it. Oops. Point. Oh, it. So kind of like a cookie dish or something. So let's get the rest of those. Since we have them, might as well use them. Make it a nice little element down here. And since it's got that kind of like little node that sticks out, you want to rotate that around so it's like it's all put down in the same way. Trying to move it. There we go. And I could probably overlap them just to make it a little more less neat, but I'm not going to worry about that. Just mostly looking to avoid it clashing with the little hole here, and I think this does not want to move, does it? I'm sure it's more to do with me probably not selecting the right one. Thinky place. Oh, for crying out loud. Right this way. Kind of got a odd number, which I like. I like odd numbers. Just looking at how it looks on the plate from all angles here. And I'm going to put this one back. And then what I'll do is I'll fashion something else above. Let's see how small we can. Not very small at all. Oops. I have a feeling that lip thing will probably be looking out the bottom. Maybe not. So I got several of the Drake and Cauldrons. I could pretend that they're like some kind of bonbons or something. I don't know how many of those I have left. Like 2 more. So that'll be a nice, another odd number. Now I think if I try to move these without the advanced mode on, that it would probably flip it back to its original orientation. So I'm just going to move the glass instead. Just going to move this manually like that. And make it like a little spot of bonbons at the top. Again, as I back off, it probably disappears. Yeah. So you really won't see these little details until you get right up. But there's that. Again, I'm probably going to move the sink probably here. since we've got the doorway on that side. So let's see if I can link this all up together and move it as one. Fingers crossed that it doesn't like wig it out or something. I haven't had too much trouble with it since the last patch, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. We'll just kind of get slow and pray to the housing gods that it stays okay. So far, so good. Just trying to get it so that most of the cabinet here in the front is visible. It looks pretty good and lined up. That means I'm going to have to move my little elephant trunk there. But that is okay as well. At least now it feels a little more away from the foodstuffs, you know, your dirty dishes and everything. Let's move Mr. Elephant over here. Take him into the back if we can. Might not be able to. Looks like he's too big, so bring that out. Shrink him down. See if that will. Nope, still. Getting close. I have to check the height again. Yeah. And let's put him up there. Again, the idea is this like some kind of like replicator thing. Poops out the food, but I don't know if that's gonna play well or not. Or might be too. There we go. A little better. Kind of coming together as a food place, sort of. I'm just gonna look and see what other kind of little doodads I can create or pretend that they exist. Now, if I got a couple of these and put these on some kind of a plate or platter or in a bowl, that might work for some kind of strange little bits. Kind of bowls do we have available? Copper bowls. It comes in pretty small. Imagine that. So many come in so large and then you have to shrink them down. Now, I don't like the little toothy bit on the bottom, so I usually sink that down so that like not right up there. I could make these like the ice cream. Maybe that's what that blue stuff is, ice cream. Wouldn't that be funny? Have to fashion something that looks like a scoop. I don't know how easy that would be. Let's see. I need something round and blue. I think that might be too swirly though. Some of the ideas that go on in my brain probably never come out, but no, I think that'll look a little weird. It doesn't quite come off with that it's supposed to be ice cream. Looks like some kind of weird like weird blue soup or something. So maybe I'll just raise that up a bit. Yeah, see, it looks even more like a blue soup. I don't know. That's kind of weird. We'll leave it for now, though, because I want some kind of food items, you know, not the usual, just leaving the piece of bread on the plate kind of thing. Speaking of which, I've attempted to make a sandwich before, so let's see if I can make another one but a different. First, we need a plate. And then we got a piece of toast. The only thing is these are like Texas toast or something because they're like so thick. Super thick bread. Let's see. Go ahead and get the other piece of toast because we know we're going to need it to make our sandwich. But now what to put in the sandwich. Last time I used, I think, a carrot plushie. I wanted like something that looked like lettuce sticking out, so I was like, used several of those to get the leaves out. And then I used, I think it was toilet paper roll to make it look like either egg or mayonnaise or something. So maybe I just use the steak, a raw steak sandwich. Doesn't that sound tasty? I think that would be kind of disgusting, but we're desperate. We need something. Wow, that went small, didn't it? Wow, I was having problems picturing it. Oops, wrong thing. And then have the bread. There you got it, a raw steak sandwich. Isn't that just gross? Yeah, that's just pretty nasty. Need to size that down a little. Too big. Want it to be kind of inside the sandwich, so all you're really seeing is the white of it, not necessarily the marbled meat. At least that's my plan. So that maybe you can pretend it's like a chicken sandwich. something else along those lines. Just gonna have that little odd chunk sticking out on the side there. So there's something of a sandwich. I think it looks better from over here than it does on the other side. Bugs me. Try that again. Now, too much of the marble showing. I'm picky about it, and yet I probably won't leave it there. It's one of those things. Anyway, so yeah, there's a sandwich. Maybe, have a platter and have a couple of these, like they're kebabs. I've done that on for the guild plot. Made it look like there was kebabs laying on the plate, for grilling. Of course, pretty crazy to grill or kebab a whole pig there, but it's the closest I can come to a type of kebab without really sitting down and putting like some kind of a stick and then putting little items on it myself. I don't want to have to do every single item custom built. The more you can put that in, the better, I think, or the more interesting your plot becomes, but it's not a specific requirement. It's just something I like to do. It's not for everybody. I'm just bringing these food items and shrinking them down and then placing them. Eventually I'll get some platters, like use the pig, succulent pig platter, and just use it upside down and have these little platters of food. That's just organic. I think we'll skip the pumpkin, but we will use the other fruit. Something like that. It's not going to be exactly like that, but just kind of starting to put some kind of foodstuffs together, so that it's, if it wasn't obvious already, it's hopefully clearer now that this is some kind of a diner, restaurant, bakery, food stop place. Let's see, I've got one of those grills. It pop that down here somewhere and just size it, and while it's okay for some places to have it where it's up on the thing, I think I will drop mine down so that it's like it's built into the countertop here rather than a separate piece. So I'll probably end up having to get myself a couple more. At least one more to have a couple of grill tops. Like one here, one here. I think that'll be okay. And let's see. I could probably put some kind of a drink thing here. Kind of deal. I don't know. It's just kind of leaving it in the air. I guess I'll go ahead and get myself one of those. I think I can get that from here. Not sure what the difference is between the two. I think one maybe is so that you could like, or it used to be where you could like craft in your home. Oops. It'd have like the little crafting icon. I don't know if that's still the case. Used to be, but I haven't used them in ages, and I'm sure there's some kind of a difference. Otherwise, there wouldn't be two for one for renown and. But I'm just interested in what's cheap, so I took the gold version rather than the renown. I'm looking too at the parts that are sticking out. I'll have to adjust for this one as well. You know, like I said, most people probably wouldn't notice those little bits, but I do, so I tend to be kind of picky about leaving them exposed. And while it's not an exact mirror, I'm kind of just looking at how I have the thing turned. I kind of wanted it to look different, like it's not the same exact thing, but you know, it's also the positioning of these little knobs and the little, I don't know what those are, the glowy fluids or whatever. Just kind of looking at it. Want it to be similar but not the same. Best way. Now maybe it'd be better if these are more on this one here and not so close to the sink. That seems odd, doesn't it? So we're gonna move that over. Yeah, I work on it and then I tweak it some more and then I change it and I go, no, that's not right. Never ending. Oh, maybe there. And then move this one over. There. Oh wait, it doesn't look as cramped as it did, I think. So you have like the surge stuff, and maybe the drinks here, and the prep here, and the cleanup here. Now, what I'm figuring is I'll probably add some kind of a little cart. Not exactly like the trolley down here, but a little push cart, probably like a double tier, and have some plates and things on that. Either it's dirty plates coming in to be washed, or clean plates going out to be placed on the tables for those that have sat down and are getting ready to order. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but to kind of give a reason for all of this open space, that there's some movement going on around here. So I may end up putting a third WildStar guy here because I want one kind of messing around here in the kitchen somewhere, Maybe I'll fashion him a chef hat of some sort. Tried that before and it didn't quite work, so I don't know if I'm going to bother with that. But definitely going to have some kind of a food cart here, I think, or dishes cart, or some kind of a trolley here, a two-tier, and have one of them pushing that. And I don't know what Mr. Monkey's going to do. He's just a mascot kind of thing. Like he's where you find the toothpicks and the after dinner mints or something. Or that's where you leave the tip for the restaurant or something. I don't know. Just an extra decoration. I got him and if I don't use him, I kind of feel bad, so. Maybe put something in this. What? I have no idea, but maybe some of those marbled meats with the bone sticking up so it looks like, you know, some Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever, I don't know. Like little legs of something. We'll see, we'll see. Coming together slowly. Let's see, I think I got, there's a towel there, but I think I got a couple more that I could. Yeah, so do I want to use the lopped one or the striped one? I think the striped would work better here. Just kind of eyeballing the size, making it kind of the same. Okay, I think that's about, I've got a few notes on some things I need to craft up, like the succulent pig platters and the exile hanging lights, because I definitely need to work on fixing up my phone booth still. Not quite happy with it. I don't know what else I can try to fashion that. I tried the fuel can thing to try and make it look like the handle of the phone, but it didn't quite work like I was thinking it might work. It just looked like a door handle or something, which is, you know, useful for if I'm looking for an alternative handle for some kind of a door, specifically a false one that you don't have to mind what's sticking through it. But for this particular combination of stuff, I really was looking for more like a receiver kind of effect, but that didn't quite come out like I expected. Just it doesn't blend well, I think. Missing something or it's just my choice of decor that is off. It is funky. So I don't know what's going to come of that. For now, I think just the three pieces will kind of simulate that there's some kind of a phone or communication, you know, little boost here. I'm still working on trying to think about what kind of lockers I might want to put in. I think I put some What did I use? Yeah, I think I considered maybe using these because they look like they're locked up. And then I just kind of set them into the wall so it's just the front that shows. And using it like that. But then I got to thinking, well, it'll take a huge amount of them to fill up a whole wall section, and I'm not sure that's how I want it to work. Or maybe insert another wall here, splitting this up, and then putting the containers this way, and putting in a few rows this way, and then it actually looks like there's more because they're split in half, so you've got like some on this side and some on the other side, and kind of make them work double time as far as serving that purpose or whatever. But again, I'm still playing around with that idea. I don't know, because obviously I don't want to extend it all the way out. I still want people to be able to pass through, so maybe that won't come off right. I don't know. I want to make it where I have to build a whole shelving system and then slide the boxes in. I think that would be a little too much, but I may end up doing something. I'm not sure yet. But at the moment, I think I only have 5 of them, so if I take it to that, I'd have to, that looks crooked, doesn't it? I think it's just the way my camera is angled for some reason. Anyway, so it looks like I probably could go 3 or 4 high and maybe 3 deep if I did it that way. And that way you'd have a section of lockers here, and then on the other side you'd have another section of lockers. And theoretically that would be where people could drop off certain things that they don't want to take on their commute. Again, I'm not sure if that will work or not. And of course I don't have enough to put it together fully anyway, but yeah, I'll probably try and fashion it so you need 4 tall and 4 wide, but that's just going to be a lot of lockers. Ugh. What did I do? Did I send that to the crate? I was so bad about that. Yes, I did. I don't know. I guess I space out while I'm doing stuff and just kind of. So like, see, especially since they're kind of oddly shaped, it might be required that I insert some division here. No, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't bother anybody that the gaps there, but and then like one. Oops. Now I'm gonna push it in this way, but mostly just so I can see about where the middle is. Probably not gonna be exact, but yeah. And size it down because, again, I don't want to close this off completely. I want to make it where people can go all the way around. Yeah, with object controls because I want it to warp. So we're gonna have to resize it a little bit more. Hopefully it still reaches the top. Yeah, I think we're good on stuff. I'll try just to see how that feels. Again, I'm going to be checking to see if it's coming through on the other side of this wall, which it's not, which is good. And then kind of centered there. And then what we'll do is we'll link all of these up. Feels like it's getting darker. This is just overcast outside. Don't have any lights on in the room, so I guess it feels that way. But I guess it's gonna rain or something today. I don't really pay too much attention to the weather, which is probably bad because, you know, most moms when they have their kids going off to school, you know, tell them you need to wear a jacket and this and that. And it's like I have no idea if my son needs to wear a jacket or not because I don't pay attention to the weather. If I hear it raining, then okay, it's raining today. Yeah, it'll probably be like I might go ahead and enlarge them so they go straight up to the top and just leave it at 3 and 3 maybe, something like that. And 3 by 3 here, and then of course it'll be mirrored on this side. And I think, yeah, this is still good. So when I put in the lights, I'll probably have one here that will light up this little area, one inside the office for the proto guys, possibly one here right in front of the ATM machine, and have that mirrored over here, one for the locker area, one for the phones, and then I still have those that I want to install in the diner area. And of course, I'll probably need some in both the control room and the maintenance area. I'm going to tentatively use I think it's the Exile hanging lamp, which again, I still have to craft. This one here though, tentatively considering using that. Now I know there's the cage light that actually comes with like a little attachment doohickey, but for the locations that I'm wanting to use it, I think the hanging light will do better because it's coming directly off of the ceiling, whereas the other one is more for a wall attachment kind of lighting. And I don't want the light to be focused here. I want it to be up above and kind of giving light to the whole little section here rather than just on this side. If it becomes necessary, I may add some specific lighting to the booths here themselves, but I'll first install just the above lights to see how that looks before I decide. I'm not quite sure how much more detail I want to put into the train itself. I may add a few more things in the cockpit area, especially on the sides here, but I'm not sure, and I don't really want to go whole hog on any particular area too much, because again, I'm watching my decor count, both the placed and the owned. The owned is the one that's troubling me the most at the moment, because every time I craft some things or buy some things, I'm adding more to the crate, and that means that as I reach that magical 2,000 number, as I need more stuff, I have to remove old stuff, and it's becoming fewer and fewer items that I'm willing to part with. So that's going to be a trick. But like little details like here, I have a human bench. I'll probably add one here, another on this side. Maybe one on right here and on this part here, and then probably adding other little features like potted plants or some kind of a little touch of green, just to kind of decorate and not make it feel too terribly cold. I want it to be somewhat cold and organized and everything, but not completely. I could maybe add a little plant here in the corner, a tall one, but it's coming together. It's just taking a little bit of time because I'll get sidetracked with other things that I'm dealing with, working on. But it's coming together. I'm confident that it's moving in the right direction. But I think that's all for today. I typically only stream once a day because I don't want to, one, overdo myself, but I think once a day is probably way more than most people need or want. But it being, I think, gosh, I'm so bad. I think today's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. So I got one more day this week because weekends I pretty much reserve for just my own private times when I can, go whole hog on other things. I'm getting a little better about not working on the house off camera. What I've been trying to do is doing most of my crafting and collecting items that I think I might want to use during my off-camera time, so that most of my building occurs on stream, because I think it's a little annoying maybe for some of my viewers that I come in and go, well, this is what I made last night, and it's got like this whole setup, and they didn't get to see how I put it together. So I've done a little bit of that in the past, just because I'm so obsessive about housing, I have a hard time breaking away from it. But I'm trying to focus on keeping that for the stream only. That's not a guarantee that it won't happen. I'm sure there will be little bits that I add, like the benches that I mentioned earlier. I may go ahead and put some of those down in the places that I talked about, and you'll see that as you go through. But primarily, some of the bigger bits I will try and keep for the stream only. Once it comes to a point where I'm considering it more or less done, the plot itself, I will find other things to work on. As I've mentioned in the past, I do a monthly decor challenge for my guild, and a few of my guildmates have mentioned that they would prefer if I was included myself in the voting part, so that I didn't exclude myself from that. So in order to try and even things up on the fairness scale, usually I put together an item as an example for them uh, a week or so in advance of the announcement of the next theme for that month. Uh, this time I think I will just wait and once, because currently we're in the voting process of this last month's theme. So when the next one comes, which is in a few days, uh, I will hold off on making it myself like I normally do, and I will wait until the announcement is set. And once they are aware, shh, be quiet, Homer. Once they are aware of what the theme is and can begin work on it themselves, then I will do the same. I will work more or less right alongside them. I do that on an alt plot. She's only level 22, so she's rather limited on what kind of decor she has access to. So I consider that an extra challenge and kind of a handicap for myself since I already know in advance what the theme is going to be, so I can be playing around with ideas already. So I feel like I'm giving them a disadvantage right from the get-go. But I'm going to try and make it so that I create my themed item at the same time that they have the time to do, and then I'll include myself in the vote. We'll see how it goes. So that'll be at least one other project that I can stream. You can see my pains and agony in trying to figure out something to build for that. Other projects may arise as I do little side things for guildmates or whatever. I may, on off days other than Wednesday, I'll probably start resorting to showcasing me running through ship hands or doing housing challenges or like some of the expeditions. I'll try and keep most of it housing, but as this project comes to its um, end, not that I'll run out of things to do, but it may not be completely focused every day on this one central project. Now, as I've also mentioned in the past, I tend to change my plots fairly frequently, so we may go over some ideas for a future plot. Maybe I'll take suggestions from my viewers as to what I might try to tackle on the next run. No promises again that I'll pick whatever you know. If it's going to be like a stripper club or something, I probably won't do that because I wouldn't do that anyway. But you know, the main things I look for when I'm picking out themes is have I seen it done before? If I have, do I feel like I can improve on what I've seen? If not, then I'd rather do something else. I've not seen a subway before. I've not seen a golf course before. So I really was drawn to this idea of combining the two in some way so that maybe others will try similar kind of plots. So like if you're going to suggest a bar or something like that, I probably won't look too heavily in that unless there's a particular theme of a bar. But yeah, those are just some things that will probably be coming up in the next weeks or so because while there's still a lot of work on this plot to do, a lot of little details here and there, partly because of the core limit and the storage limit, I'm going to be getting to a point where I really just can't add any more, even if I wanted to. So I'm just giving my viewers a head up that, you know, while this project may be coming to its close eventually, there's still more things I can show. And of course, once I decide to wipe the slate clean once more, then we'll have a whole new adventure to embark on. So anyway, thanks for watching today. And hopefully you're free to join me again sometime soon. And in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day, even if it does turn out to be rainy like it might be here. And if you don't get a chance to drop in tomorrow, I hope you have a good weekend. So until the next time, happy housing.